I end up at the pub. There's a friend of mine that I knew from high school, and I trusted him. And he started explaining to me that like the Jews and the Filipinos and the blacks were like running the neighborhood. The main thing that was attractive to me is that he had a group. If I could get one of those jackets and the boots and I could walk around and be tough looking and all this kind of thing. It was a loose knit group of sort of street skinheads. I was struggling looking for identity, and I didn't know where I was going with my job. I didn't have a girlfriend, and all these different things. On your average weekend, we'd end up, going around getting in trouble or bar fights and that kind of thing. It didn't really matter if you won or not. It just matters if you showed up and you shed blood for the cause. So we came across a sort of Vietnamese gang, got in a fight, and ended up on the wrong end of the fight, that's for sure. So I ended up in the hospital. In walks the doctor, and I'm like, okay, obviously this guy's Orthodox Jewish guy. I'm like all bloody and got a bomber jacket on and, like skinhead attire and a swastika shirt. I don't deserve to get help from this guy. I mean, who am I at this point? Why does he deserve this in his life? But he didn't mention anything about any of that. All he did was help me. When I started thinking about leaving the movement, this incident was at the front of my mind again. It was like, okay, well, how many other people that I didn't deserve compassion from during all this time, from minority communities specifically, had, given me compassion? And it was endless times I could think about it in my mind. I had this boss who was a black guy, who was a phenomenal person. And then I'm like, oh man, there's a guy that I worked with in security. He was a Filipino, and he was like one of my best friends at work. Then I started thinking my life was actually just surrounded by various people that were great people in my life that were not white people. It really inspired change to see people for who they are and not for what they look like. It was really negative. It was exhausting. The violence, the hate. You wake up every morning and you've got to hate every damn person in the world. Like, that takes a lot of energy. And why? I was traveling to the US, went on a cruise for vacation, came back and arrested and removed from this cruise boat, in front of my family. It was solely based on this website that had posted up my life story. I had to leave this group. I came down to an ultimatum from my wife saying, like, I'm just going to leave you unless you leave that. So I said, well, obviously I'm going to leave that. We joined these groups because we were vulnerable at some point, or that we felt like we were missing something, or that we had lost something. If we sort of embrace some of these things and address them, we're much less likely to become attached to this negativity. Every step, every year you stay in longer, the more crappy your life will get later. Every day that you're in it, you're taking a chance of, violence, getting killed, who knows. You're doxxed, your name's out there. You're now not a private Nazi, you're a public one. What's the point? Because you hate other people? Why? You don't actually hate other people. You're part of this group because you're hurting and other people are hurting. That's why you're there.